give a warm round of applause to our next speaker. Jimmy's going to come up and talk about what we're also doing because of the story phenomenon. Come on up, Jimmy.
For the record. So what Chris was just talking about, this idea of stories, one of the things that we realize as Curator clients is when we think about content marketing, bring it down a little bit, guys, for me, please. When we think about content marketing, we think about the importance of how you use content to drive traffic to your website, how you use content to engage the traffic that's coming to your website, how you use content to get people to trust you, and then how you use content to actually qualify leads. And the thing that's interesting to us when we think about stories is if you look at social for a moment, and you look at the way that people create content and consume content on the web, you'll notice that fundamentally, social is very different than a website. Fundamentally, it's much harder to create content on a website than it is on your phone, on Instagram, on Facebook. So we started thinking to ourselves, if stories is the next big thing, if Zuckerberg's saying it, it's probably true, right? If stories is the next big thing, how can we adjust our strategies from a website and a marketing perspective to embrace that? So what I'm going to walk you guys through right now is there's a couple things that are live right now on your website, and we're going to actually, in the Genius Factory later today, we're going to actually give you guys a demo how this works and how to set it up. But what you're looking at right now is Scott Hardis's website. And the thing that's really interesting about this is Scott, when he normally posts a success story, if he wants to link to other success stories, he would normally have to either drop 3 links in or 4 links in, and potentially if those get updated, he'd have to go back and update them. But if you want to build a collection of content to get people to discover new information, you got to make it easy and you got to make it dynamic. So what you can see here, by simply dropping in a link to a collection of pages, which you use tags to do that, Scott can now include all of his success stories that he has on his website in this sort of swipe format online. And the key takeaway here I want you guys thinking about is this very basic idea that it's you drop a link and it creates a beautiful layout that people can consume both on desktop and on mobile. So as an example, if I scale down here on mobile, guys, what you'll see here is this will look great, and just like a phone, you're swiping. Does that make sense, guys? So it's just a link. That's the main takeaway here. Now, you can use content you currently have on the website, like blog posts or articles, but then you can also use your listings. And one of the things that we're thinking about as we study what people are doing on Instagram, you guys do a wonderful job promoting your listings and stories. And we wanted to take that same concept and bring it to the web. So as you can see here, you can actually drop a link to your website, and you can use a search result or your featured listings, and you can create that same kind of style format, that same story format for your listings. Same style, it will swipe, it will look beautiful on desktop and beautiful on mobile. The last thing that I'm going to cover in regards to stories is, and this is a huge concept that we're so bullish on, this very basic idea that if you think about social media for a second, social media exists in the stream. And how long do those conversations typically last? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, right? And then it's on. You create this amazing content through YouTube videos, and it's on your YouTube channel. But guys, people aren't going and searching on your YouTube channel. It ain't happening. So one of the most important concepts when you think about bringing your brand together and tying together your social media content with your website is featuring content from social on your website in a prominent way. So the last feature that we have for stories is this concept with what we call the YouTube stories, which is the ability with a single link to create and embed YouTube videos in that story format. So I'm on ET's website right now. ET posts a lot of videos. And as you guys can see here on the bottom, we're going to dynamically pull down all of your videos from a particular playlist. Does that make sense, right? So you can take listings, you can take success stories, you can take testimonials and culture videos, you can take your career section, you can organize it into a playlist, and with a single drop of a link, you can then organize that content into a story on the website. And the last thing here, Chris, and as we get into some of the other releases today, the last thing here is that when I think about how you can build the brand that lasts, and Don Miller coming up in a little bit talk about building story brand and using it to communicate your message and really resonate with consumers. One of the things that's so important, maybe you guys can relate to this idea that sometimes you feel like your message is all over the place, and it's sort of everywhere online and there's no consistency, your website really needs to be that hub. It needs to be that center point. It needs to be where everything that's important, the best of your brand, you feature on your website.